Okay, everybody, welcome back to the Lechtech Musar podcast. We continue with the Pious. We are on page 224 in the art scroll. We are on day 76 of Hachzik. The shir should be a schutz for Shlema for Reb David Moshe ben Yehudis Rachel. May have a refuah Shlema b'seich Sha'ar Chayli Yisrael. Says the Yoeitz, we're in the middle of the midah of Chasidus. We spoke about how taking ourselves out of our own comfort zones and doing for Hashem, Hashem in turn does the same for us. Now we're going to give some examples. We said yesterday that Chasidus isn't about the way we talk, the way we look, where we live, but it's relative to every single person, relative to every person's own growth, everyone's own journey, everyone's own, right? We go to the doctor and they have those charts. Some people are on the right curve, they're in the right percentile. Some people have their own curve, some people are on the charts, off the charts. And Pious now is going to remind us that in acting, fearing Zechazikol as a chassid, pious, doesn't mean being chassidish, it means being a chassid, being pious. We're going to learn examples. After Pashta Rav and Abba Amma B'Ktevia Meikol, Rav Nachli Hashem Va'Oyve Shemai, Latsis Idei Safik, Latsis Idei Kaladeis, Meicha Shabai Shema Pen V'Ulai Hadinim Amachmer. Says the Pious that one example would be, if we know there's some people that are Meikol in a certain halachic matter, ends up being Machmer, go out of your way. Go with the opinion that covers all of the Dasa Machmirim Yevin. That's one example of the Chimshal Harefish because after the El Ba'erch Ziris Ayin Sham Chayadai Askonius L'Sada B'Kunshis Kol Mi the Chasidusa. So it says the Pious that one example of where a person can tap into acting pious is where he takes on a chumrah that's going to be Yoeitz all the shittas, and even if he's usually more mekel, but try for a certain amount of time to be more machmer. I remember when I was a bacher, once I heard a Gevaldige Mashal from my Rebbe. Now we're in El, and we know that there's an Indian brought down, Mishabur brings it down, not to eat paspalta during the Asas Mechuva. And a lot of people feel very conflicted. They feel it's cheating, it's scamming the system. Like, what are you doing? Are you a fraud? Are you rigging the system? Doesn't Hashem know that you're a faker? All of a sudden, you're this big tzaddik, you're coming to Yom Hadin and you want extra schusim. Who are you to start playing around and showing Hashem that you really is chassid, when really the next day you're going to go back and be eating all this paspalter, the non-Jewish companies, intimate, whatever it is, Chol V'Stam, Chol V'Yisrael, right? So Hashem knows you're a fraud. You can eat Reese's Puffs, Reese's peanut butter cups, and Entenmann's donuts, and Dunkin' Donuts, the cheese croissant, right? So all of a sudden now, 10 days, you're big tzaddik, you're big malach, and we can feel that conflict. We can feel that, are we rigging the system? The Mishabur brings it down. Who are we doing? Who are we faking? Tell you this mashal. Simple, short, and sweet, but fantastic. There was once a city, a shtetl, and they were irrelevant, they were off the charts, they were disregarded, no one ever cared about them. And one day they get a letter. They get a letter that the king of the entire province, of the entire country, he wants to come and visit this little shtetl. And they're hoping that this is going to be a fantastic opportunity, and they don't know what sparked the king to come visit them. But if the king is coming, and we have an opportunity to talk to the king and ask the king to take care of us and maybe send us grants and funds and government help us out, that we shouldn't be this third world, forlorn, lost, castaway little people in the middle of nowhere, but we should be integrated part of society. He should care about us, and we should be able to be standing people of dignity and pride. And the minister of the shtetl said, listen, guys, you guys look terrible. Your houses are falling apart. Nothing about you looks put together. You're not going to be able to be mechaber the king properly the way you are now. He says you have one shot, that when the king comes, we're going to work now for the next few months, put ourselves together, do some renovations. We're going to get ourselves new clothing. We're going to invest as much as we can, resources, mentally, physically, and we're going to do what we can to make ourselves look mechubadik, respectful, so that when the king comes, we'll be someone that he looks at. will be someone that he realizes that we invested, that we care that he's in town. And perhaps when he comes and he sees that we're invested and he sees that we care, that'll encourage him to help us out more and build us up and give us the funding that we should be able to be where we want to be and not be this lost, forlorn little community. The same thing is with Yom Niram, Aser Semi Tshuva. It's not a scam. To act more pious, like the Pious is telling us, to take the Das Machmirim even for a short amount of time. It's not a scandal. We're not rigging the system. We're not cheating. We're showing Hashem. We realize that you're the king. We realize you're Melech Malchei Amlachim. We realize that you have your Yoda, Archava, Hamle, Psucha, Gdoisha, that you're everything. We have nowhere else to go, no one else to ask from. And now is the time. The Melech is Basada. The king is in the field, and he's waiting to answer our requests. He's waiting to see, do we care? He's waiting to see, are we performing? Are we going out of our way for him? And when we do that with our actions, even if it's for a short amount of time, it's not a scam. We're no different than that community, the third world country where the king is coming to visit, and they're doing whatever they can to put themselves together to have a more positive and favorable outcome. And for us as well, it's time of din, it's time of mishpat. And if we're taking on small kabbalas, whether it's not eating chalav stam, whether it's not eating paspalter, it's not a scam. We're not cheating anyone. We're showing Hashem that we care. And when we do that, when we act keminag hachasidus, that's the greatest chus. That's the greatest demonstration of showing Hashem that we care for Him. When we show Hashem that we care for Him, He, in turn, will care for us. Now the Yoeitz adds that a person now is all energized, he's stimulated, he wants to go ahead and be a chassid. But says the Pious, we know that there's an inning of humility, not to be a Baal Gaiva. And just like in Gashmius, in materialistic wealth pursuits, you don't go around telling everyone, look at my paycheck, look at my house. People do that, but you're not supposed to. You don't need to wear it on your wrist. You don't need to wear it on your driveway. You don't need to wear it on your property. Right? There's a way Hashem wants us to live. It's a pasuk in Micha. Says the Pious, walk discreetly with your God. Again, v'hatz a pasuk. Micha, Perek Vav, pasuk Ches. You can look it up. What is Hashem? What is the Navi conveying to us? The Navi is conveying to us that the way a Yid firzach, the way a Yid conducts himself, is not flaunting. It's not with being ostentatious. It's not with popping everyone's eyes out. It's very simple. It's a pasuk. V'hatznei leches im elekecha. Walk discreetly with God. Walk under the radar. Don't hurt other people with your possessions, with your actions. No one cares. No one wants to see it. Don't cause jealousy. Don't cause strife. And says the Pious that if that applies to Gashmius, very interesting. It also applies to Ruchnis. Don't go and tell people. You don't need to broadcast. I'm starting to go to Shachas earlier. I'm taking on another Seder. I'm doing Chesed. I'm baking Chalus for people. I'm saying more Tehillah. No, it's no one's business. It's you and Hashem. And yeah, sometimes it's very hard. We want people to know it's encouraging, and there is an inyan of Kina Seifim Tar B'Chachma. But the point of that not for everyone wants to assume his reputation, may do so. The point is, sometimes keep things quiet, and those things we know, Ein Tov Samua. The Bracha tells us, Ein Bracha Ella Samu Min Ayin. Bracha. We want Hashem's divine bracha, His blessing, especially during this time of judgment, and always. We want our tefillas to work, we want our tehillim to work, we want our mitzvahs, our chesed to work, we want it to activate bracha for us. Samu Min Ayin. Keep it away from other people's vision. Don't be in people's faces. It applies to Gashmis, it applies for Ruchnis, but the point is, why? What's the point over here? Because Hashem says, Hatznei leches Hashem elekecha. Be discreet, leave everyone else out, and walk with the Eibishter. Be one with the Eibishter. When you have Him, you don't need anyone else. You have all the satisfaction, you have all the rewards, you have the bracha from Hashem Himself. You won't need the recognition from other people. Very important Yesod. It applies to Gashmis and even applies to Ruchnis.